Written and illustrated by Inyo Asano, Goodnight Punpun, also known as Oyasumi Punpun, is a psychological coming-of-age drama manga that follows the life of Punpun Onodera from his elementary school days all the way into his early 20s. However, while the art style, featuring a cartoony bird-like depiction of the protagonist, may look child-friendly, this manga is anything but. In fact, I would probably say that this manga is one of the most depressing pieces of media I have ever had the honor of coming across. Taking a step back, the story begins when a new girl named Aiko Tanaka transfers into Punpun's school and he immediately falls in love with her. While the first few chapters of the story are cute, what with the puppy love romance the two share, and the humor we get whenever Punpun gets together with his hormonal friends to engage in various shenanigans, the childlike sense of wonder soon fades away as more of the real world begins to set in. The first red flag is how Aiko keeps talking about wanting to run away, and how she makes Punpun promise that he will run away with her. If you have ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, you know how ever since Jenny was a little girl, there were various hints that suggested she wasn't growing up on the best path? Well, you definitely get that vibe here, and unfortunately, that is where everything starts to go wrong for Punpun. Continuing with the Forrest Gump analogy from earlier, while that story always managed to balance the dark moments in Jenny's life with the misadventures of the ever-enthusiastic Forrest, this story is basically what happens when both characters are Jenny. Sometimes, silly childhood promises can't be kept, leading to a feeling of extreme guilt. Sometimes, crushes don't work out, leading to a feeling of extreme self-loathing. And sometimes, unfortunately, there isn't even a safe place to escape from those worries due to the domestic abuse at home and your parents going through a divorce. With no one to confide in and nowhere to go to find peace, this ends up causing irreversible damage to the psyche of our growing protagonist that will have devastating consequences down the line. Now, while I don't want to go any further and spoil any details, just know that this is the type of story that doesn't pull any punches and covers all sorts of topics including, but not limited to, depression, self-contempt, social isolation, and death as we watch Punpun awkwardly grow up. With all that being said, I would not fault you if you're sitting there going, I don't get it. If this story is so depressing, then why bother reading it? Well, the thing is that as depressing as it may be, it is still extremely well crafted, with realistic characters, amazing art, and themes that seem to speak differently to each person who reads it. In my case, while I can't claim to experience even half of the terrible things Punpun goes through, topics such as depression, self-loathing, and crushes gone wrong once hit very close to home. In a way though, seeing them on paper is a good way to reflect on who I used to be and remind myself on why I'm glad to have left all those negative aspects of my life behind. While I know that Goodnight Punpun is not the type of story for everyone, and I definitely wouldn't recommend it to anyone currently suffering from depression, as this title will bring your mood down, I definitely recommend it to anyone who isn't afraid of material that makes you uncomfortable. Yes, it is a tough read, and yes, it is the type of thing that will most likely require some breaks as you make your way through it, but it is a story where you can definitely see the author had a story to tell. A story so different and presented in such a way unlike anything you've ever seen that you really have to respect it. But hey, don't take my word for it, check it out yourself and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, this has been Weeb Rabbit, keep those tails fluffy, your ears clean, and happy holidays.